What's the scariest movie you ever seen? I'm subscribed to 4 streaming services and the top 9 movies listed here are unavailable. We're past the golden years of streaming now, aren't we? Threads. It will fuck your day up. It's the scariest film I've seen and it's not technically a horror. Competition is not even close. And I watch a fuck ton of horror. I still keep The Descent at the top of my list. I expected it to just be a thriller with the claustrophobia and terror between the group. Didn't expect a creature feature. Honestly, Event Horizon. Put it on in the background thinking it was just a kind of creepy sci-fi. It was the sounds that really got to me on that one. The Fourth Kind. When I saw it I was told it was a true story and I was just dumb enough to believe it at the time. Also I was the type of person to believe in aliens, so that certainly made it scarier. Oculus, because of the idea of not being able to distinguish reality from some fucked up perception. I've never seen a movie that scared me, but No Country for Old Men weirded me out the most. I found Chigga an extremely plausible bad guy character. Okay, I've scrolled long enough. The original Candyman. Watched it at a sleepover in 3rd grade and I've hated horror movies and bees all the way through to my late 30s. The Ritual, Lost in Woods, freaky psychological stuff happens, devilry / witchcraft, great gore and suspense, 10/10. Hills Have Eyes. Trailer / burning dad scene. I've never seen so many messed up things in a few minutes. I don't get why people hate on found footage. There are some found footage films that are some of the scariest films I've ever seen. And #X200B. Some good ones from this past week I've watched. As Above So Below. Butterfly Kisses. Savageland. Noroi. When I was 13 and saw Pet Sematary I didn't sleep for a week. This was a while ago so the effects felt super scary. The Exorcist. I was high as a kite and imagined I was that girl's father and have to deal with all that bullshit. I saw wicked nightmares when went to sleep that night. It Follows. Can't stand the premise of this movie, nothing more terrifying than being chased at a slow walk to basically raped to death by something that could look like a family member. What the hell? Insidious. The scene where the guy walks outside the window and suddenly enters. Full body goosebumps for sure. And the baby monitor scene, yikes. Gremlins, the end telling me to watch for a gremlin every time something is malfunctioning had 6-year-old me scared shitless. Bone Tomahawk is a slow, pitiless descent into hell that just gets more excruciating and nauseating as it goes on. The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the original obviously. I saw it as a grown man and screamed like a little girl throughout the whole film. Signs. But only because it was the last time I was young enough to let a movie really get to me. It Follows. It handles the occasional jump scare very well. The tall man emerging from the hallway comes to mind, as none of them rely on cheap gimmicks to simply startle the viewer. The visual horror of the different form it takes when we see it works every time because it's simply unnerving. What it exceeds at in between those moments is the dread and tension of knowing that it is out there, somewhere, making its way toward the protagonist. It could be days away, it could be seconds away. But it is always coming. Antichrist with William Dafoe. Slow as shit, but after it turns you'll be questioning life. I found Hush really terrifying. The parts where you couldn't hear anything because you were in the main character's position were scary to me because it's actually how she would feel. Begotten. Lesser-known experimental film by Elias Merhige. Unnerving and profoundly strange. Audition. Japanese horror and suspense movie from 1999 that is the absolute pinnacle of the genre. At the time, I watched it with a roommate that was really into horror films, and this one had both of us reeling afterwards. I won't ruin it for those who haven't seen it, but there is a scene where the young woman who is holding the auditions calls to a man here kitty kitty after brutalizing him and it is just absolutely bone-chilling. https://www.imdb.com/video/628836121//ref_tt_6_I_2. VHS. There is a scene in it with a couple who is vacationing. There is a creepy vagrant in the parking lot that is making them both uncomfortable. If you've seen it, you know, and if not, you'll have to go watch it and be stuck with it like I am. The videotapes in Sinister are scarier than the movie itself, especially the barbecue one, it's so disturbing. Amityville and Poltergeist, super cheesy now. When I was younger, not my thing. I don't like horror movies. I don't watch them, they stick to my subconscious and I will dream of zombies. Run. The Shining. Something about ghosts just scare the shit out of me. Add in the isolation, the soundtrack, and the masterful directing. I was actually glad when Jack finally goes crazy because that's a physical horror that I can deal with. The Shining I saw as a kid, so that may have something to do with it. The others on the other hand I noped out about halfway through as a full-grown adult. Knowing, with Nick Cage. The part where they try to contact NASA and there's nobody there. It's because they know the human race is going to be wiped out by some random space radiation and there's nothing anyone can do to stop it, so there's no point in warning anyone. If it were an alien, something people could fight back against, that's not as scary, even if it was hopeless. But nope, some random radiation wipes everyone out, and there's nothing anyone can do. 7. It's not typical horror movie, but I think it was a really good gory movie that had a great environment. It gave me a pit in my stomach, signifying dread, on many of the scenes. Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman had great performances. The acts of the murderer were reaching good and the effects were awesome. The ending was impacted since the protagonists lost while the murderer got away with what he wanted. Midsommar, not because of the movie itself, but the public response to it. Every time I see someone bring it up, countless people refer to it as a good horror movie, think the ending was satisfying / happy, etc. It's terrifying how well cult conditioning works on most people even when you tell them directly that it's what they are seeing. Skynamare Inc. https://www.youtube.com/watch?v=x370xu8 / It's a new experimental horror film shot on a shoestring budget making waves in the festival circuit. Lucky enough to have seen an early cut, and it fucks you up. It's nothing overt, but many viewers are saying it evokes a sense of horror that most hadn't felt since childhood. The 5 to 10 minutes inside the ship from the movie Fire in the Sky. I was 8 years old. Practical effects just hit different. Hereditary. I knew nothing about the film going into it other than it starred Toni Collette, who I like quite a bit. I watch a lot of horror and even still parts of this film were nearly impossible to watch. Fantastic movie, can't recommend it enough.